This shit just keeps getting better and better. Oh, shit. Hello, this is Daniel Mart back again, and this time it seems we're gonna be talking about the strike again. So, what's going on? What's the new updates? So, currently it seems that the video game voice actors are gonna be going on strike soon. Because the same reason everybody else wants to go on fucking strike right now, Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's get into this. I mean, the news for this literally just broke in the past 24 to 48 hours, so we're all getting really informed right now. But just to kind of give you all guys all the details. So, I'm not gonna lie, to a certain degree, I'm kind of surprised that the voice actors are gonna go on strike soon. But to be fair, I'm also not in that industry. And the last time they actually went on strike was back in 2016, 2017, where it was about a year-long strike. And at that time, they were striking for better pay for their residuals and some other rights in regards to motion capture and some of the stuff that kind of goes alongside with that. And at the time, in 2017, late 2017, actually September 23rd, 2017 specifically, is when that strike ended. They made a contract for 3 years where basically all their problems between each other, between the actors and the companies involved, they managed to come to some kind of agreement. Now, the reason they're on strike right now is because basically some of the new issues and the old issues that weren't properly solved back then now need to be renegotiated, essentially. And apparently this was something that's been happening since even last year. They made a deal last year where they were going to extend the contract for another year, and that contract is called the Interactive Media Agreement. Now, I'm not sure if that's the same agreement that was signed back in 2017, because that one was only for 3 years, and 3 years later would have been 2020 or in 2023, so I'm not sure if they extended it from that point onward. Again, we're all getting this information as it stands now. They had an agreement last year where they were trying to negotiate deals, and they extended it one more year to hopefully further those negotiations. But now they're gonna come to the, I guess, final days of that agreement to negotiate, and it's not coming through, essentially. Just to read this quote specifically as you're seeing on screen, it states that it has been a year since the Sag-Aftra's video game contract, the Interactive Media Agreement, which was extended beyond the original expiration as we negotiated with the companies for critical terms Sag-Aftra members needed. Unfortunately, throughout the negotiations, the companies have failed to address those needs. For this reason, the negotiation committee and national board unanimously agreed that the union should have a members-approved strike authorization in hand when bargaining resumes on September 26. So basically 6 years to the day, if I'm not mistaken, from when the last contract was signed. And of course, Fran Drescher did have some comments on it, as you're seeing right now. Once again, we are facing a player's greed and disrespect. Once again, artificial intelligence is putting our members in jeopardy of reducing their opportunities to work. And once again, SAG-AFTRA is standing up to tyranny on behalf of its members. So yeah, that's what Fran Drescher said, which, I mean, sure, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the way Fran Drescher talks, and something about the way she's expressing herself just really seems very like fake passion, or passion for the sake of being over dramatic, if that makes sense. But that's besides the point. So right now, the video game voice actors, they are fighting for their stuff as well. Some of the stuff that they are fighting for are that they want the same rates increased as film and TV actors. They want job protection from AI, as could be seen from the comments, and a mandatory 5 minutes per hour rest period for on-camera performances capture actors. So, you know, if you're like doing motion capture for a video game, which happens a lot nowadays, they want a 5-minute break for that, which I'm not gonna lie, that seems kind of low, if I'm being honest, because you're doing all this movement and you only get a 5-minute break. I feel like that's kind of a low ball on SAG-AFTRA's part, but then again, I'm not really sure how that really works out. I'm not a voice actor. I'm not a video game voice actor specifically, which is what they're fighting for, who's fighting for in this case. But 5 minutes seems kind of low. I would have gone for 10 minutes. Maybe that's the original offer, but they're trying to settle for 5 minutes. I don't know. That one seems a little bit low in my opinion, but again, I'm not part of that industry. So yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, they're set to vote on this in the next couple of days on Friday, which will be on the 8th. And everything should be rectified. It's not the right word, but everything should be figured out, so to speak, if they're going to strike or not within the upcoming weeks. I think by 26, from what it seems here at the latest. And yeah, if that's the case, no more video game voice actors, and we'll see if it lasts a year like last time or not. And just to kind of go over some of the struck companies, some of the companies that you can't work for anymore if you are a video game voice actor. They are Activision Productions Inc., Blind Lights LLC, Disney Character Voices Inc., Electronics Arts Productions Inc., which is EA, Epic Games Inc., Formosa Interactive LLC, Insomniac Games Inc., Take-Two Productions Inc., VoiceWorks Productions Inc., and Warner Bros. Games Inc. So that's 11 companies, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, again, those are some of the biggest companies in video games. make sense of why they're striking against it. And I mean, honestly, like, it's being said time and time again with the writers, the TV and film actors, the voice actors now, pay your fucking workers essentially, and don't rely on AI. Essentially, like that's what it's coming down to. That's really what everybody's fighting for at this point: pay increases and AI protection. The last video game strike lasted a year. That was just video games. Who knows how long these strikes are actually going to go? I mean, the good thing is that there are some companies like A24, and I know they're not video games, but just to kind of relate to film for a second, but there are some companies like A24, for example, who are willing to work with the union to give the rights to the actors that we all deserve. So I do like that, but like I just wish like these big companies can like figure their shit out and not be a bunch of greedy bastards. Like, it's tiring. Like it's truly tiring. Like it's disheartening. That's really all I have to say. Because we don't want to be on strike. That's the thing. We don't want to be on strike at the end of the day. But it just sucks that we have to come to this point to do what we need to do to get paid for the work we deserve. So, yeah, that's it sucks. That's really all I have to say. It sucks. And even if I'm not really part of this industry, who knows? Maybe I will be part of this industry in the future. It sucks because we all want to be paid for what we're worth, and we don't want to fucking AI always ruining something, so to speak. Because you're saying AI can be used for good stuff, but right now what they want to use it for is essentially replace us. Left, right, and center isn't what we need. And then you have assholes like David Zaslav and Bob Iger and Chapek and whatever trying to like saying, oh, what you're asking for is reasonable. But of course they can say that because they're fucking sitting on their billions and millions of dollars while we're just struggling to get by. So. And like that's the other thing you have to remember. Yes, there are the big actors here. Like Brad Pitt, DiCaprio, Amy Adams. You do have the big actors there, but you also have the little guys, the people who solely rely on voice acting or film acting or whatever to pay their bills. And right now, this is putting it at a standstill. And I don't know. Maybe I'll do a video on how people feel about the strikes. About not that we're really getting into the meat of it, but that's besides the point. Again, these strikes aren't for the big actors. Like, I don't know, like this, I guess to take it for voice acting, this wouldn't be for like Frank Welker. Does he even do video games? I'm sure he does video games. But like Frank Welker or, is it Jennifer Grey? Is that her name? Is it Jennifer Grey, or something like that? Tara Strong, like they're good, but the average, everyday voice actor, again, this is another blow to them. And it's not helping. Yeah, that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off. Pay your fucking workers and stop relying on AI. Jesus fucking Christ.